Okay, thank you very much, everybody. All these people have been working very, very hard today, I'll tell you. For a long time, they've been working. But before I begin, I want to express our nation's well wishes to Prime Minister Boris Johnson as he wages his own personal fight with the virus. All Americans are praying for him. He's a friend of mine. He's a great gentleman and a great leader. And he's, as you know, he was brought to the hospital today, but I'm hopeful and sure that he's going to be fine. He's a strong man, strong person. Today, every patriotic American heart beats in solidarity with the incredible people of New York and New Jersey. They've really become a very hot zone, but some very good things are happening. In New York, the first time where the deaths were less from the previous day. That's the first drop so far, so maybe that's a good sign. It could be. And the hospital levels are starting to perhaps decrease. It's been very short, but perhaps decrease. So we wish Governor Cuomo and all of the people in New York great, and New Jersey, your governor's doing a great job. He's doing a great job in New Jersey. They got hit very hard. I just want to say that the full power of the American government and American enterprise, it really is. This is an all-out military operation that we've waged, and especially over the last number of weeks. 50 states and territories have now been approved for major disaster declarations, which is very unusual. Thanks to the Army Corps of Engineers, New York City's Javits Center is now one of the largest hospitals in the United States. It's designated for treatment of the virus, patients, and staffed by hundreds of federal medical personnel deployed from 2 Army hospital units, and they're doing a great job. This was something that we didn't expect to do, but they needed help in New York, and we sent federal troops. Not only troops, we also sent a lot of very talented doctors, nurses, first responders. People are now running Javits. Also, as you know, the USNS Comfort, which is in New York, there's been a lot of publicity about that coming in, and all that was not supposed to be for the virus at all under any circumstances, but it looks like more and more we're going to be using it for that. So we'll see. That was supposed to be for people having other medical problems, but it's very interesting because there are virtually no cars on the road, no motorcycles on the road, no anything on the road. Things that would normally be taken care of, we don't see anymore. So we haven't seen that in a long time. It's perhaps a positive. But the ship is ready, and if it has to, if we need it for the virus, we will be using it for that. They'd prefer not, for obvious reasons, but if for any reason they need it, it's ready, willing and able. We have the best doctors, the best military leaders, and the best logistics professionals anywhere in the world, and we're orchestrating a massive federal response, unlike anything our country has ever seen or done. We've never done anything like this. And more we're using our medical people because of the fact that jurisdictions, states, in particular, New York, New Jersey, the Connecticut area, Long Island now has become a hot spot, part of New York. We're sending a lot of things, a lot of supplies, and now we're sending personnel where it's needed, military personnel. As of Tuesday, we'll have deployed over 3,000 military and public health professionals to New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and other parts of our country. 3,000, and that number's going up. And we hope we're seeing a leveling off in the hottest spots of them all. So we'll see. You'll be seeing that over the next few days. Let's see what happens. But we're prepared. In the last 7 days, FEMA has airlifted critical supplies and protective equipment from every corner of Earth. They're coming from all over the planet, including from within the United States, where the equipment isn't as necessary. Since last Sunday, cargo planes have delivered almost, listen to this, 300 million gloves, almost 8 million masks, and 3 million gowns, and many more fully loaded cargo planes are right now on the way. 3 big ones landed today. And these supplies are being distributed directly to the hospitals and healthcare providers all across the nation, so that massive amount of material that we're getting in is being delivered all over the country. Tomorrow, we'll deliver an additional 600,000 N95 masks to New York City to take care of the needs of the public hospital system. It was a request of Mayor de Blasio. We've been working great with Mayor de Blasio, getting him a lot of stuff. He's working very hard, I can tell you that. And we're working really very hard with New York City and with New York State. And at the request of Congressman Lee Zeldin out in Long Island, we will also be delivering another 200,000 N95 masks to Suffolk County, where they need it very badly. So we're getting that out on an emergency basis. Should be there tomorrow. We'll also be deploying millions of N95 masks to other locations that Admiral Polovchak will detail shortly. The Admiral will be up in just a couple of minutes. Over the last 24 hours, FEMA has delivered an additional 500 ventilators to New Jersey, 500. And again, the governor has been very thankful. We're working very hard with New Jersey, including building hospitals. We've also sent an additional 200 ventilators to Louisiana, definite hotspot, 300 to Michigan, working very well, I think, with the governor. Amazingly, 600 will be going or have gone to Illinois. And I mean, there's a governor, I hear him complaining all the time. Pritzker, I hear him, he's always complaining, and yet I just said, give me a list of a couple of the things we've done in Illinois. And we're building a 2,500 bed hospital in McCormick Place. That's the big convention center in Chicago. And we're helping to staff it, and probably will end up staffing it because he's not able to do what you're supposed to be able to do as a governor. He has not performed well. And we're also sending 100 ventilators to Massachusetts. So we have 600 to Illinois, we have 100 to Massachusetts, we have 300 to Michigan, we have 200 to Louisiana, we have 500 ventilators, 500 going to New Jersey. And this is being done by FEMA, being delivered by FEMA. And it's some job. Just think of that when you think about 500 ventilators. A ventilator is a big deal. We're also establishing a federal medical station in the Washington, D.C. area to help Washington, D.C., and working very closely with the mayor and everybody in Washington, D.C. At the same time, Governor Inslee, we appreciate this, of Washington State has returned 400 ventilators, which can now be deployed elsewhere in our country. So the state of Washington's done very well. They won't be needing some of the ventilators that have been sent, about 400, that's a lot. And we appreciate that he's able to give them back. He feels confident that they are in good shape for the coming weeks until we can declare a final victory. In the days ahead, America will endure the peak of this terrible pandemic. Our warriors in this life and death battle are the incredible doctors and nurses and healthcare workers on the front line of the fight. We pledge to them our eternal gratitude and everlasting support. They make all of us very proud. Our country is very proud. We have people, they love our country. The world loves our country, most of it, probably all of it. They just don't say it. I can report today that the United States has now tested and given results, gotten results of 1.67 million people. That's far more than any other country has been able to do. And you remember we inherited a broken system, so a lot of this has been developed. By Tuesday, 1,200 brand new rapid point-of-care testing kits has been produced by Abbott Laboratories, great company, and they'll be distributed to all of our public health labs. That's a 15-minute test, even less, as well as the Indian Health Service, the CDC, and the Strategic National Stockpile. So we're going to have 1,200, and on a weekly basis, we're making a lot more. They go very fast. They're very accurate tests, and other countries are wanting them. So at the right time, we'll be able to do that. But right now, we're getting them to all of ours. So we've done 1,670,000 tests. Think of that, 1,670,000 tests. And we have a great system now. We're working with the states in almost all instances, but we have a great system. And the other thing that we've bought a tremendous amount of is the hydroxychloroquine, which I think, as you know, it's a great malaria drug. It's worked unbelievably. It's a powerful drug on malaria, and there are signs that it works on this, some very strong signs. And in the meantime, it's been around a long time. It also works very powerfully on lupus. So there are some very strong, powerful signs, and we'll have to see, because again, it's being tested now. This is a new thing that just happened to us, the invisible enemy, we call it. And if you have no signs of heart problems, the azithromycin, which will kill certain things that you don't want living within your body. It's a powerful drug. If you don't have a problem, a heart problem, we would say, let your doctor think about it. But as a combination, I think they're going to be, I think there's two things that should be looked at very strongly. Now, we have purchased and we have stockpiled 29 million pills of the hydroxychloroquine, 29 million. A lot of drugstores have them by prescription, and also, and they're not expensive. Also, we're sending them to various labs, our military, we're sending them to the hospitals, we're sending them all over. I just think it's something, you know, the expression, I've used it for certain reasons. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? And a lot of people are saying that when, and are taking it, if you're a doctor, a nurse, a first responder, a medical person going into hospitals, they say taking it before the fact is good, but what do you have to lose? They say take it. I'm not looking at it one way or the other, but we want to get out of this. If it does work, it would be a shame if we didn't do it early. But we have some very good signs. So that's hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin. And again, you have to go through your medical people, get the approval. But I've seen things that I sort of like. So what do I know? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but I have common sense. The FDA feels good about it. They've, as you know, they've approved it. They gave it a rapid approval. And the reason, because it's been out there for a long time, and they know the side effects, and they also know the potential. So based on that, we have sent it throughout the country. We have it stockpiled, about 29 million doses. 29 million doses. So we have a lot of it. We hope it works. Driven by the goal of the brightest minds in science. We have the brightest minds in science, but we're driven by the goal of getting rid of this plague, getting rid of this scourge, getting rid of this virus. These brilliant minds are working on the most effective antiviral therapies and vaccines. We are working very, very hard. I have met many of the doctors that are doing it. These are doctors that are working so hard on vanquishing the virus. We strongly recommend staying at home, practicing vigorous hygiene and maintaining social distance, so you're just not going to catch it. It's the most effective weapon in this war. And I will tell you, we are committing to you, we're committing to the people of our country like few administrations, few people, few professionals have ever committed before. They are working so hard. I see them before my eyes, exhausted. People that I'm dealing with every day, exhausted. They haven't left their offices. They haven't left their hospitals. We meet with them. We see them. And tremendous strides have been made. I think the vaccines, we'll have a report on that, but the vaccines, working together with other countries. We're also working with other countries, many other countries. And we all want everyone else to be first. We're very happy, but we are very far down the line on vaccines. We'll see how that all works. Johnson & Johnson's doing a great job, working very hard. A vaccine would be great. Therapy and therapeutics would be great. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, you may listen to what I said about the two drugs mentioned. My administration is rapidly implementing the largest emergency economic relief package in American history. You've seen what's been happening. Billions of dollars in small business loans have already been processed through Paycheck Protection Program. So we went out on Friday, and literally it's become so popular. It's been worked with the banks. They get it to the small business. And it's all about employment. It's all about jobs. We want you to keep your jobs. Give the small business funding to keep the workers on the payroll. And we're sending direct cash payments to millions of Americans and rushing aid to the hardest hit industries. We're saving industries. We will be, you'll be seeing it. And if we do more, we're going to do more, and we're going to try and get directly to people that are hit so hard. But we're going to take care of our workers. We're going to take care of our citizens. We're going to take care of our small businesses. We're going to take care of our large businesses, the airplane industry, the airline industry, a lot of great industries that we have that are in trouble because of what took place over the last short period of time. These are industries that were doing better, for the most part, doing better than ever. The airlines were doing great. Oil was doing great, oil and gas, and the energy industry was doing phenomenally well and got hit like nobody's ever been hit before. Just about like no industry's ever been hit before. There's never been anything like this. But we see light at the end of the tunnel. Things are happening. Things are happening. We're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel. And hopefully in the not too distant future, we'll be very proud of the job we all did. Can never be happy when so many people are dying, but we're going to be very proud of the job we did to keep the death down to an absolute minimum, the least it could have happened with this terrible, terrible virus. In closing, I also want to note today is Palm Sunday and the beginning of Holy Week for Christians in America and all around the world. While we may be apart from one another, as you can see from our great churches, our great pastors and ministers are out there working very hard, but we may be apart. We can use this time to turn to reflection and prayer and our own personal relationship with God. I would ask that all Americans pray for the heroic doctors and nurses, for the truck drivers and grocery store workers, and for everyone fighting this battle. I had mentioned yesterday where I see the nurses rushing into hospitals, and they're putting on their outfits and they're putting on their masks and goggles in some cases. They're rushing into war. They're rushing into war. And I see people from apartment houses screaming and shouting and singing their praises. It's an incredible thing. They're warriors. These doctors and nurses, they're running into buildings and they're literally putting it on as the doors are opening. They're putting all their stuff in, running inside. And they're running inside to tremendous danger, tremendous danger. But most of all, I'd like to ask for your prayers for the families who have lost loved ones. Ask God to comfort them in their hour of grief. It's a great hour of grief for our nation, for the world. This morning, I was talking 151. For 4 days, I said 151. 151 countries this morning. It's 182 countries. It jumped up a lot. So as of this morning, it's 182 countries are under attack from this monster. With the faith of our families and the spirit of our people and the grace of our God, we will endure, we will overcome, we will prevail. We have learned so much. We will be stronger than ever. And I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank the incredible professionals on the task force also. We had a big meeting today. We were calls all day long to so many different people. And I think our package to get everyone working when we're ready is really turning out to be successful. We may have to make it larger because it's been really successful. But all of that comes back to this country. We want to get them back. We want to get our people back to work. Everybody wants to be back. We want to open up our country as soon as possible. So with that, I'm going to ask Dr. Birx to say a few words, and she's got some charts to show you. And thank you very much. Thank you.